What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. Another Joel Friday TV podcast episode. We are here all week, Monday through Thursday. Do me a favor, hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we can get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Topics to be covered. Yesterday, what did we talk about? It got pretty energetic. Yesterday's episode 55, it got crazy. And we talked about love language. What is love language? And we got into it and what it really means. I kind of wanted to get to the root of it. So my intent was to do that and kind of debunk certain things that are said about love language in the world today. And we got some calls from ladies. We got some calls from men. We had some agreements. We had some disagreements. Man, chat was going crazy. We were on Instagram. When you get a chance, check out yesterday's episode on love language. But today we are talking about the reason why many people, not even people, but we'll go specific. The reason why many women today are single, okay? We're going to get into it. I'm kind of going to go back to just the cause of things, what I think is the cause of these things that happen. They're not just because life is unfair. They're not just because God wants to pick on you. There's reasons why we are where we are, and I enjoy getting to the bottom of those reasons, at least the best that I can, and relaying that message because it's interesting to me. So maybe it's interesting to others. So we're going to get into the reason why many women today are single. Okay? So make sure you tell your peoples right now. You can call in 888-775-3773 and we can talk about the topic at hand or past shows, yesterday's show, last week's show, whatever you guys want to talk about. We can get into it. It is a talk show, 888-775-3773. If you can't call in for whatever reason, but you have a question or comment, or you like to just support the show, you can send a super chat by going to the chat box and clicking the super chat button. And you can send a super chat, or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV and donate a donut, a donation in the form of a donut. And you can donate there and questions will get read live on air. You see what I did there? I'm a rapper. But anyway, you can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. Amazing stuff. Now would be a good time to boom, boom, boom. I am on an audio podcast, so you can listen to the show, past shows on audio podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. You can go check that out there as well. Nice. Can we close that door, please? So today, chat, how you guys doing? Let me find my topic here. How's it going, chat? How you guys feeling? Did you enjoy yesterday's show? Is this some kind of talk show? Let's see. Is there a reason why Joel is talking right now? The third rail with Joel. Pray for Kaya. She black. Now, Kaya called in yesterday and she had some interesting things to bring to the conversation, and I appreciated her opinion on it. And I agreed with some of the things that she was saying, and we just got into it. And I love dialogue like that. So, and Nina called in yesterday and we got into it. And it's nice hearing a female's perspective, to be honest. I get a lot of male callers And it's nice to get a female's perspective on certain things that we're talking about. So I encourage females to not be shy and call in and let's discuss it. I think I'm nice, right? I think I'm a nice guy. So let's just have a conversation. But anyway, the reason many women are single today, this is like, what's going on in the world right now is so deep that if you don't watch yourself and keep your eyes on yourself, you're going to miss what's going on. It's so deep what's going on right now. And it's kind of crazy to like be able to understand at least a little bit of what's going on and to try to make sense of it because it's so crazy. And I do my best not to judge people, right, in general, because people are just lost and we're all just trying to find our way, right? We're all just trying to find our way to what is real, what is right, and live a great life, a peaceful life. We're all just on that path. So I do my best not to judge and be a little, try to be understanding to why people do the things that they do. But I still think it's important to, in the right time, point it out, right? And make sense of it. Because there are people out there who are looking for answers. And when they hear an answer that speaks to the spirit, it could be helpful. So that's why we have these podcasts. And I think podcast is or YouTube is oversaturated with podcasts. It's like a trend to have a podcast. And I think some people who have one for the sake of the trend, but that's not for me to judge. But it's oversaturated for sure. So that's the only thing that makes podcasting kind of weird is when there's too many people doing it, right? But anyway, shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson and the JLP network for giving me the platform to be able to speak what's on my mind and share what I believe. And the response has been amazing. So thank you, chat. And thank you to all the viewers. It's been real fun. It's been real fun. And that's what I love about it. So anyway, back to the topic. The reason why women are single today. So there's a lot of women that are single. And there's a lot of women that wonder why that's the case. And I just want to break that down. So first off, men today are extremely weak, right? Us as men, weak today, right? And when I say weak, I mean like lazy, don't really want to work. Also very, 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 very much subject to women, caught up in feelings, just weak. No backbone, fear, have a lot of fear. And the scary thing is that like men are starting to accept that as who they are. Like, this is just me. That's the crazy thing, right? Instead of trying to overcome, they just accept themselves as that. But men today are very weak. And what's crazy is I never really knew that men were weak and that this has been the case my entire life. Just because I grew up in this world of weak men. I don't know nothing different. All I know is weak men. So in turn, what happens? You grow into a weak male. And that's what happened. And then we spend the most of our lives as men trying to overcome this stuff, right? But men today are very weak. And because men are weak, society in general have backslid, right? Society has backslid. And women today, because men are weak, are out of control, right? Women today are out of control. Not all women, right? Not all women, but women today are out of control. And it's because men have backslid. Men are weak. And of course, we don't want to put all the blame on men. Women are responsible for their own lives. They have the opportunity at any given moment to overcome and look at themselves and watch themselves. But in the grand scheme of things, if men weren't weak, women would not be out of control. That's just a fact. And there's reasons why. There's the roles of why men are lead the way, but that's for another episode. And why women, job is not to lead men. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But that's just how it's designed. And it doesn't mean men are better than women. And it doesn't mean women are less than. It just means that that's how it was designed, right? That's how I view it. And anyway, the women today are out of control, right? And men are lazy and subject to women and all this thing have this fear, but women are into working hard, having careers, becoming women bosses. They're very educated. They have multiple sex partners. Their body count is high. You know what I mean? They run the show. That's women today, right? And because of that, like I said, not all women, but because of that, their egos are out of control, right? And a big part of that obviously has to do with their upbringing, where they come from, their parents. Their parents didn't set the best example or lead them in the right way to avoid women going out of control, right? Fathers weren't around, or fathers, if they were there, they were not the best examples. They were subject to the weakness of men, right? And because of that, women's egos are out of control and they're just lost, right? And internally, women are very unhappy. So they have all these things, right? They have all these things. They have this car, this house, this job. Women are doing financially. A lot of women I know, I can't speak for the whole world, but a lot of women I know doing well financially, right? So women have the money, the cars, the things. They're educated, intellectual. They got any guy that they want. They got options, multiple options. They could choose any guy they want. They have it all, right? But internally, they're extremely unhappy, right? They have anxiety. They have depression. They're angry. They're sad. They're lonely. They feel all these things, right? And they're just lost. And because of all of that, men don't want to be around it. A weak man or a strong man. If he's weak, if he's weak, he's subject to it, right? If the man is weak, he's subject to it and he loves it and he admires it, right? Because he thinks that he can get love from the woman, right? But the woman knows that man is weak, and the woman knows that he's subject to her, and she doesn't respect him for that. She wants a real man. But a strong man doesn't even want the women today, right? A strong man doesn't even want the women today. Right. Excuse me. Why? Because of these type of women with these big egos have bad attitudes. They want to control everything. They want to dominate. But on the same breath, they also say they want a real man. They want a strong man. They want to be this and this and that, right? But their egos are just out of control. So what happens is the strong man, right, the man that they think that they want, comes in and tries to have these work on these relationships with this woman, with this, with the ego. And the woman likes him and she's attracted to him because he's strong, right? But she can't control him, right? And she feels intimidated by him. And that nature of her doesn't like that. So even though deep down she wants that real man, that false ego nature, which is the evil nature, can't handle his strength, right? She wants to dominate, even if it's unconsciously, even if it's not intentional, right? She has to be this way because she's been this strong, false strength, right? Strong woman so long in her life that she doesn't know how to be the alternative, right? She doesn't know how to let her ego die, let her ego go. She doesn't know how to properly respect a man, right? So all their woman qualities, right, have like gone astray. They don't cook, they don't clean, they don't want to be a mother, they don't want to get married, and all these things, right? They don't even want these things. And not everybody is meant to have them, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a miserable person if you're not a mother or you don't get married, right? That may not be for everybody, but it's that the women nowadays are rejecting it, or they're seeing it as a negative thing. Like, no, I'm not gonna be no weak woman that stay at home and raise the kids or cook or clean. You better cook for me. I don't need no man to A, B, and C, right? And I understand that because weak men are setting bad examples and they're not stepping up to the plate, right? And, I don't want to exclude myself from that category either, right? So, I understand why women have that mentality, but it doesn't justify that you're straying away. You're like rejecting your natural womanly nature for the sake of, I don't know, proving a point or being independent or to feel better or to feel like you don't need somebody. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it ends up being a disservice to you and to your children if you have any. So back to the point is that men don't want to be around those type of women, so they don't. Or weak men would just use them up, sleep with them and get rid of them, which makes the women worse, right? What makes the women really reject men and really want to be, or reject God. It's not even about rejecting men, it's rejecting God, because men represent God in the highest form. And that's not even controversial. It's crazy that almost sounds like a controversial thing to say, but it's not. And it's not that women can't find God or don't have their spirit within, right? It's not to say that, but it's designed God, Christ, man, woman. And it doesn't mean that the woman is subject to the man either. It's just all jacked up because all these things, and it's crazy that I have to explain it in that way to give context, because it doesn't mean that now the woman's a slave to the man. No, she can be free too, right? She can be free. She can have her own opinion. She can hear from God. but it's not in the woman to lead the way. But anyway, so what happens next? And then I'm going to get to some super chats. And I could take your calls as well, 888-775-3773. So what happens next? Men don't want these independent women, right? Real men don't want these independent women. And they don't want to deal with, the attitudes. And, it's also not about just the women working and doing all these things and not wanting kids, not cooking. It's not just about that. It's more so about the heart, the condition of the heart, right? Because there's women who have just been indoctrinated their whole life, but their heart may be open to wanting the truth or wanting to be better or wanting to overcome, right? But they're just lost in the sauce. But then there's those women that hearts are hardened, right? And it makes it extremely hard to want to be around them. They got bad attitudes and everything. And their bad attitude within starts to seep from without. So you can start seeing on their physical character. Their voices get deeper. If you pay attention, their voices get deeper like men, right? Not as deep, but you can see their voice change. Their look starts to be a little bit more rough. You know what I mean? The way they move, their feminine glow is gone. If you pay attention, I'm telling you, you can see all these things. Their feminine glow is gone. They're very aggressive. You know what I mean? And all of that is a forced nature. And this is why they're not happy, because they've been taught to force it. And when you force it, you go against the natural way of living. That's why they're depressed and they're on all these things. They got to get liposuction and surgery and fake lips and all these things, because their face and everything starts to decay. Because they're working against their natural nature. So the result is men now want younger women. The result is now men resort to younger women. They don't want the ones that are in their late 20s or 30s or 40s. They don't want that. They want the younger woman. Why? Because the younger woman has less baggage. They have they're less damaged. They still have a type of innocence within them. And their minds are open. So the older men go for the younger girls. And then the body is tight, skin is tight. They got an energy, they got a life still in them, and they're not corrupt yet. I mean, there's corruption in there, right? But they're at the, so that's why men want the younger girls. They go for the younger girls and they just reject these middle-aged women, because the middle-aged women just caught up on the ego, on this high horse. Right? So, and I ain't picking on just women, because men are weak. Men are weak, and I'm not excluding myself from the category. Men are weak. But I will say is that there is something to be said about men who are trying to be overcome, right? Men who are trying to overcome and watch themselves and pay attention and learn. There's something to be said about those men, but men in general are just real weak. We don't hold no competition. But I have one more point that I want to make about that, but I'm going to get to a call first, I'm gonna get to a super chat, and then I'm gonna get to a call. Let's see here. We got Toxic Player 7 says, Joel, why do you identify yourself as black? If we know race divided within the human race is a lie created by a liberal Caucasian man named blankety blank blank, why do you identify as a lie? I identify as mixed, for one. Thank you. But I am black. But I'm mixed with a lot of stuff. But I think there's a necessity to recognizing people with color, right? Yeah.
I can't believe is your board showing on the film?
Hold on, folks. What? No, it's not showing.
You on the air right now?
Hold on. Anyway, Jesse Lee Peterson, folks, again, coming in at the right time. What a mess. Yeah, so back to the super chat. Yeah, we're at the heart, we're spirits, and we all know that.
What?
At the heart,
You don't say why men are weak. Why are they weak? And how can they overcome it?
Here and say it. Oh, we got JLP coming to the chair.
I asked Joel, he's talking about how weak men are.
Yeah.
Just put down men.
Yeah. And women.
No, but you said they nice, they got money.
No.
But you don't say why men are weak and how to overcome it. And you said you were nice.
So you want me to say, so I need to make the point of why men are weak.
At some point.
And then what else?
And why they're weak, how they became that way, and how to overcome it.
Okay, I'll get to that.
And then you said you were nice.
Oh, I am nice. But nice is not necessarily a good thing.
No.
Right?
Nice isn't a weak.
See?
So you weak?
Maybe. I'm not excluding myself from the men category. Men are weak.
So how you gonna tell them how to be strong if you weak?
Because I'm learning what it means to overcome.
Oh, you are?
So I'm telling them what it means to overcome.
All right. Well, thanks for interrupting my show.
They ran their mind.
Your computer showing on the air?
No, because we're not showing that side of the thing. So.
Okay, is it showing now?
No, that whole side is not being shown.
Oh, it's not?
No. But I had to get back to my show. Can I get back to my? I only got an hour.
Now it's all fixed. That is his show. It's all fixed.
You know? It was a set. It was a setup.
What's wrong with the blacks?
Thank you, Jesse Peterson, for coming in and ruining my show. No, I'm playing. Okay. So Jesse wants me to explain, or he thinks I didn't explain why men are weak. So I'll get to that, but thank you for the super chats. I appreciate it, Toxic Player. There was a super chat from yesterday as well. I'll get back to that, but let me get to a call really quick. And maybe there's some buy me a coffees as well. Let me get to Frederick, first-time caller out of Los Angeles. Frederick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on, Joel?
How's it going, man?
It's going all right. It's going all right. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no
problem.
problem.
I'm with Jesse on this, man. You can't call men weak and be a man.
But how come nobody addressed the part that I said that women are also out of control?
Yeah, but you think they running it. You're giving them too much power. As a man thinker, so he is. You know what I'm saying? You call yourself weak, you'll become a weak man. You don't want to think as yourself as weak. You just want to think as yourself as picking the wrong female.
Well,
so
that's fair.
Stop picking the wrong female because your past experience revolves your thinking of your idea of how women are or whatever, right?
Right.
So if you go straight to their father or ask them, do you have a father? Is your father alive? And they let you meet their father? Therefore, you don't even have to talk to them to know how to treat them. How you and their father have a relationship, she knows what's morally right and wrong by the way you talk to her father and the way the father treats her mother. So therefore, she's going to be like, oh, okay. But if she don't have a father, she's been in the streets, and the streets is her father, you give it up. You might as well treat her like the streets. You can't make excuse my language. You can't make her a girl housewife. If she's in the streets saucing or she's lost, then you know what it is. Half of these women are living off of juggling 3 simps, and they paying their bills, going home to daddy, acting like they successful on their own. They're not. The men aren't putting them on Front Street like, oh, I'm paying this girl's rent, I'm doing this and all. There's a lot of simps out here because money can buy souls, and they feel like that's power. I'm paying you to leave.
Let me catch you right. Let me chime in. Right there. Is that here's the thing? Here's my thing. Is that I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. My thing is like this: if we're gonna say about men, we shouldn't look at ourselves as weak. Then we need to stop looking at talking about how women are weak. Then we got to give them the same thing. But see, that's the thing right there. That's the reason why there's a divide between the men and women. Is because men want to call out women all the time, and me included, but don't want to give that same call out to the men, or vice versa. So if we're gonna say, well, men are not weak, they're overcoming and they're trying and they just been lost and then you gotta extend that same grace to women. Women aren't weak. Then, to make your point, women aren't weak. Then they're just lost. They're just trying to figure it out. But we can't say just give men the soft treatment and say, well, women got to get it together.
You overgeneralizing. Do you agree that there's a difference between a man and a boy?
For sure. Definitely.
Is there a difference between a woman and a hoe? And a bee? All women aren't the same. So you saying all women are this way or overgeneralizing and say all men are weak is not the same, because all men, it's a difference between the simps and the real men.
Well, I didn't say all of them, though.
Men.
No, I didn't. I wasn't saying all men. Not all men are weak.
You say not all.
But that's just common sense, man. I'm not talking about.
Now it's common sense. No, because a lot of these simps are giving the women that out here for themselves a bad name, because regular women got to compete with the hoes. So now the men don't know that the hoes are making it off of other simps.
Right.
So you're turning other women into simps because you're congratulating the not calling out how they're doing it. Nobody's calling out how these women are getting successful, but that's greed.
But that's what I'm doing right now, right?
As I'm calling them music and the whole conglomerate. They're looking for security. That's natural selection. They're going to select who has the most money to take care of them for the longest. That's all they're looking for.
But they shouldn't be looking for. But am I not saying am I not calling out that the women who are out of control with this inflated ego are part of the problem, just as I'm saying that men who are weak are part of the problem? Am I not saying that equally? Where am I wrong in what I'm saying?
No, I just don't want you to say all men, Jesse's right. How can you tell a man to be strong if you're here saying you're weak and you can't overcome the women of power? There's no power in the woman. You putting the power in the woman as you think of.
There's no power in no power.
You can be.
There's no power in no man outside of God. There's no power in no man outside of God. And there's no power in no woman outside of God.
Outside of God, some men are atheists and they still are over women. It don't mean God has to be. Yes, they're still boys.
But there's also
they're
But there's also men who are subject to women, weak men who are subject to women.
Everybody, exactly. So let's not overgeneralize and say all men are weak.
Fair
We
enough.
fall to let these women rule us. No, some scenarios got that, but we're not going to broadcast it over the radios in America like men are weak over here and we falling.
Yeah.
No, there's real men out
Fair
here,
enough.
and I'm going to represent before I let you go on here and say, oh, they got the power. No.
That's how you want to
No.
perceive it, but fair. I know you. I guess the point you're saying is that you don't want
I
me
think
to
we should have multiple wives and make the women compete. Make
Okay.
competing and get good again.
So
if you can take
multiple
care of more
wives.
than-
So your alternative is to have
Multiple wives,
multiple
yeah.
wives?
Yes, I'm a pharaoh.
Okay, so all right, guys, you heard it. So he just exposed himself, but he said you want multiple wives. So basically, what he's saying is, don't listen to his advice. You want more? No, I appreciate.
Yeah, I live on my own rules. And then if I can show one how to teach another one to get money, then they can retire and then they can keep teaching. And they can all live at the top. It's just like capitalism. It ain't no different. But
Fair
okay.
enough. Fair
You
enough.
have a good one.
Yeah, fair enough, Frederick. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, man.
All right, Jared.
What a mess. What a mess. Listen here, y'all. Listen here. If you're gonna criticize women, you gotta criticize men. If you're gonna criticize men, you gotta criticize women. If you're gonna uplift men, you gotta uplift women, right? Because we have to be honest. Be honest. Men have had bad upbringings as well, right? Their fathers weren't around. They weren't taught to be a man. So because of that, they're angry. And because of their anger makes you act out. You listen to your thoughts and you go with your feelings and then you act out. You do the wrong things. You get lost and you become a mess, right? But here's the thing. All people are subject to that. Men and women, right? So yes, there's the order of life, God, Christ, man, woman, right? Due to roles, not due to dominance. So my point, what I want to do is to also give women credit. And I'm not going to sit here and just, Jesse said that I'm calling women out and not calling men out. Or I made men look weak, but I'm making women look good. When my whole show has been talking about how women egos are out of control. And I'm not saying that I'm always right on every situation, but this is what I believe, and I'm standing on it. Women's egos are out of control because men are weak, but also because women like being out of control as well. All the responsibility doesn't just fall on men, but if men were not weak and they were setting the right example, women would see that and want to follow men. But that's not the case. So women have to fend for themselves and they're going out on the world and making their own life, but they have no direction. Not all women and not all men, but they have no direction in life. So they take all these wrong things and they just are going based off of feelings. And now their hearts are all wicked. And then they wonder why they're not married. And men wonder why these women don't want them. Because the men are weak too. It's evil on two different faces, but it's both evil. One's not better than the other. So I'm going to call out women and I'm going to call out men and I'm going to call out them both. And I'm going to be honest about myself. Why? Because it's the truth. It is what it is. I am nice, and sometimes I'm too nice. But I'm also watching myself, and I'm trying to overcome. I'm keeping my eyes on myself. So the solution to all this, is this. And this is just true. This is just true. And you don't have to be a perfect Christian to see this. Is that the way you overcome is get to know yourself. And when you get to know yourself, you see what's wrong. And then you understand why you do the things you do. And by that understanding, you see with God's insight of what to do next. And that may be to forgive, right? That may be to do the silent prayer, be still, right? You'll see what to do if you look at yourself and realize what's going on. Not only will you realize what's going on, but you'll also understand everyone else in the world. So you'll be able to comment on certain things because you understand them. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you. So don't take my word for it. Don't listen to me then. I don't care. Don't listen to me. I'm not perfect and I'm still overcoming, and there's things that I don't have together, and I'm still wrong, and I'm wrong sometimes, and I realize I'm wrong. So don't listen to me. Good. That's fine. Go in within yourself and you find the answer for yourself. So you can stand on it, so you can walk confidently in what you believe. Let me get to Naomi out of Virginia. Not a first-time caller, but I don't recognize Naomi. Hey, Naomi, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, I typically call on Jesse's line.
You said what?
I typically call on Jesse's line.
Okay.
Yeah. So, to the men out there, okay, there are a lot of women who are seeking and who want to operate out of how God designed them. But there are a lot of men out there. I'm almost 50 years old.
Okay.
So I've seen how things have morphed with time.
Yeah.
The good girls who want to remain women, you men seem to not be attracted to them at all.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm telling you, I have nieces who, are doing their best. They're not aggressive. They have nice attitudes. I put them out there. I tried to introduce them to gentlemen that I think would be nice for them. And these guys end up dating girls with fattened hips, with the eyelashes, with the wigs. Something is not right. I'm not saying that we women don't have issues. We have a lot of issues, and we have a lot to overcome. But men have to take accountability as well. It seems like what you want is not necessarily what you go seeking for. And it seems like once you start dating these girls that are never good for you, there's an outcry about how all women are bad.
Yeah.
I have women my age that, quite honestly, should have been married before I ever was. And they can't seem to find guys because why? Their hair is natural. They do not wear makeup. They don't go out to the club. They're not exciting, if you will.
Yeah.
How do we close that cycle? And it's really, really frustrating to hear from the younger guys, there are no good girls out there. There are good girls out there. It's just that they're not in the places where
you're looking.
Men are.
Yeah, where you're looking. Exactly. Let me make that point, too, because I'm running out of time here.
Yeah.
Is that I agree with what you're saying. And I definitely see how women tend to, women who are decent, trying to do what's right, trying to make sense of things, tend to get the short end of the stick. That is very true. And the reason why I understand what you're saying, because I teach young kids, and I have a young student who, very decent girl, has grew up with both her parents, and she means well, right? But no guys at her school, she's in high school, no guys at her school want her.
Yep.
And I'm thinking like, this is so insane, because you're pretty, you're decent, you have whatever the case may be, but no guys want her. And the reason why is, in my belief as well, is because she's not giving them what they think that they want. And guys want sex. A lot of guys want sex, especially the young ones, because of the society we live in. They want sex. They want all these thrills. They want all these weird things because it makes them feel good. But they're not actually wanting the real deal. And, lucky for her, she's not getting involved with these, dumb little boys. No offense, but it's just the truth. These little boys, because they're just going to use her up anyway. So it's fortunate for her because she gets to not go through all these things. But I will want to say this really quick, is that I wouldn't at the same time try to introduce your niece to like decent boys. You want to let God do that the natural way, because when we try to force things, we don't know what we want, right? We also don't know who's going to be the right person for each other. So I wouldn't recommend trying to set your niece up with any guy or try to force that to happen. Let that happen naturally. God will send the right situation.
It's not like I'm introducing them. I'm just kind of making the opportunity for them to meet. I know this girl. Oh, you guys can hang out. And I leave it at that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Most of the time, it doesn't.
Right. But just to that point, and I'm not trying to like over here correct you about this situation. Just to be honest, is that I wouldn't even make that opportunity there. I wouldn't even create that opportunity. Let her just live her life and find her way through life, because she may have to learn. Unfortunately, she may sometimes have to learn from that one bad young boy or whatever the case is, so she can really see for herself what she wants. So you don't want to try to set her up in that way. But I agree with your main point. I agree, and I understand what you're saying, and it's true. Guys gotta get it together, just like women gotta get it together as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, Naomi. Call me again. I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll do, Joel. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
I agree. And that may be controversial to agree with what she said, but she said the truth. It goes both ways. Laura Bibby with the super chat. Stop driving decent men away, girl. Booyah. I don't know if he was referring to the caller or not, but I don't know what he means. But appreciate it, Laura Bibby 42. But if you're talking about the caller, well, I don't quite know what you mean by that. But thanks for the super chat. Valerie Smith says, thank you for your honesty, Joel. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. And thank you for the super chat as well. Let me check Buy Me a Coffee real quick, and then I got to end because the American Anchor Baby's coming in. And, yeah, he got a good show. So you want to make sure you tune in. But let me just check Buy Me a Coffee. I want to make sure I read you guys' super chats and I don't miss them. Sion with the donation says, Randy's Donuts, Joel the Love Doctor. I don't know about that. She goes on to say, my Jesse found out I'm seeing somebody. I know I heard that on the show. He's jealous. You can't. Why are you cheating on him? Nah, I'm playing. Thank you, Sion. I appreciate it. Amazing Asia, can you talk about love language tomorrow? You're right. It's a hot topic. Oh, I think that was from the other day. We got into it, Amazing Asia. I hope you've seen it Anyway, I got to end. Thank you guys for the super chats and all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Lamps sent a donut as well. Thank you guys. I got to end. The American Anchor Baby is coming back in. I'm here tomorrow for the last show of this week. So make sure you tune in. We'll see what the topic is. We'll find out. But thank you guys for tuning in. And follow me across the board, Joel Friday TV. Subscribe, like, share, and all that good stuff. Until next time, y'all. Bye.